Belgium offers a unique financial incentive for original creators. If you write code, design blueprints, or produce creative work, those specific earnings can be classified under a copyright regime taxed at a flat 15%, rather than standard progressive rates. Because the gap between a 15% flat rate and a standard 50% income tax is so wide, companies began labeling almost any routine task as creative work. To close these loopholes, the Belgian government overhauled the legislation for 2026. This presentation slide from a legal tax seminar highlights the reality on the ground. The bottom bullet point explicitly states that the tax administration is implementing numerous audits specifically targeting copyright declarations. To execute these audits objectively, the 2026 reform relies on a rigid, dual-layered filtration system. Tax professionals refer to this mechanism as the two ceilings. Any income that fails to clear both of these statutory limits loses its protective shield. The surplus is automatically reclassified as professional income, subjecting it to the standard tax bracket of up to 50% plus Social Security contributions. Let's look at how this filtration system works in practice. Imagine a software developer or designer who generates exactly 100,000 euros in total annual remuneration through their company. This diagram represents their total income. The first boundary they hit is the relative ceiling. The law dictates that whenever a copyright assignment is tied to a professional service, like writing the actual code, the copyright portion cannot exceed 30% of the total compensation. Applying that rule to our developer, their 100,000 euros splits into two strict categories, a 30,000 euro portion and a 70,000 euro portion. That 30,000 euro segment represents the maximum allowable copyright share. It is the only portion of this specific income split that can legally qualify for the advantageous 15% tax rate. The remaining 70,000 euros compensates the actual physical labor and service provided. It automatically defaults to standard professional income, carrying the normal, heavier tax burden. The relative ceiling is designed with a specific mathematical purpose. It ensures that the tax advantageous reward for an idea can never mathematically outweigh the compensation for the labor required to execute it. Clearing that first limit does not guarantee safety. The income must still pass through a second filter. This graphic introduces the absolute ceiling. For the 2026 income year, the Belgian government has set a hard, index-adjusted cap of 77,220 euros on all eligible copyright earnings. When we measure our developer's 30,000 euro copyright share against this second limit, we see it fits easily underneath the barrier. Because the amount sits safely below the 77,220 euro threshold, that specific portion of their income fully survives the legislation and retains the 15% tax advantage. To understand the strictness of this cap, look at what happens if a highly paid author or artist claims 90,000 euros in pure copyright income without any accompanying service. The total collides with the cap, and the excess amount is immediately severed. The absolute ceiling acts as an equalizer. Even if a creator earns their wealth entirely through legitimate, pure copyright, they cannot shelter unlimited funds. Anything above the line reverts back to standard taxation. These two ceilings do not exist in isolation. They intersect to form a strict three-dimensional boundary around your compensation. A compliant tax strategy requires your income to pass the 30%